Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. That's me Khushi, and today we're going to be continuing with the JavaScript project. So today we're going to be looking at loops. So we have the for loop, while loop, do while loop, and the two important statements which are break and continue. So yeah, let's just get into the video without any further ado. So first we have a very small introduction of loops. So loops can execute a block of code the number of times we want it to, and they are handy when you want to run the same code repeatedly with different conditions. So here we have the for loop. So for the for loop, we have a statement 1, 2, and 3. So you can have one condition based on three statements. So you describe your condition, and then you have the parentheses, then you have the curly braces. Then inside the curly braces, you write down the code block, which is to be executed. The statement 1 is executed before the loop. The statement 2 defines the condition for running the loop, and the statement 3 is after the loop. So here's statement 3. I'm just going to explain this one because it's a very easy one. So statement 3, which is executed after the loop has been run. Now, for example, I have completed the execution and then I want to increase the value of the number. So I can use this statement 3. Again, statement 1, I can just write down the values I have to take. Now, if I have a variable n which is defined in my code, I can just use that value in the statement 1. So it has three components for the classic loop. So here we are going to look at a very easy example. So here this is seen before. We have given the value of I, that's the condition, and that's what is going to happen after the for loop has been executed once. The for loop is going to break once the value of I has been equal to 5. So you can just read this out to get a clear value. And this is going to be the output of the above given. Statement 1 is optional and can be left out if your values are set already. So here we have an example over here. The value 5 was already set, but you can use it any which ways. It depends on you. You can also initiate more than one value in a statement using commas to separate them. So if I just need the one for loop block to handle two types of situations, then I can use this thing. So we have the ES6 course, which is going to handle this thing. Now let's just look at some of the more examples. Now we have very easy while loop. So while loop is the most basic one and it is the most used one as well. So it repeats the block of the code unless a specific condition is true. So it's similar like if, but the repetition is absent in the if statement. So here we have the while, the condition, and the code block. That's it. The condition can be any conditional statement that returns true or false. So if I want the condition to be false, like let's say if I is not equal to, the not equal to symbol is this thing, like we have an exclamation mark and we have this thing. So in this case, if the value of I is not equal to 5, let's say, then the whole thing is going to work. If it's equal to 5, the loop is going to break. That's it. Now you might be not understanding what is break. That is going to come up later. So here we have this. We have a variable I whose value is set to be less than 10 or equal to 10. If the value of I is less than 10, this is going to repeat. So the output which we're going to get is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 10. So that's going to be the output of this one. So here we have it again. Now be careful when writing conditions. If a condition is always true, then the loop will run forever and that will lead to a breakdown. Now if I have, let's say if I have a very big number here, in place of this 10, if I pay some 1 lakh, 1 crore or something like that, then this thing is just going to go on and go on. And that's not going to make things, it's just going to make things complicated. Now let's just look at the do while loop, which is again a very interesting one, but is a little bit complicated than the while and the for. Let's see. The do while loop, and it is a variant of the while loop, but with one different thing. This loop is gonna execute the code block once before checking if the condition is true, and then it will repeat it as long as the condition is true. do we have the code block while the condition is still true. It almost works the same way. So here, let's just read this out. The loop will execute the code block once before checking if the condition is true. And then it will repeat it after the condition, as long as the condition is true. In the while loop, we first check the condition and then the code block is executed. But in the do while loop, first it is executed, then the condition is checked whether it's true or not. So the only variable in this thing is the checking of the condition and the order of the execution. So the semicolon at the end of the do while loop is important. So here we have this thing. The output will be 20, 21, 22, 23, and 25. The loop will be executed at least once, even if the condition is false. So that is the only major difference between do while and while. Now let's just look with the last concept, and that is the break and continue. I've already solved the project on my channel, so you can just go down and check it in my channel. When we made the break statement earlier in this module, we used to jump out of the loop and continue executing the code which is after the loop. This is what we have done when we were using it in the switch statement. So that is how we do it over here itself. If I is equals to 5, then it is going to break the loop and it's going to just come out of the loop. So what is going to happen over here is all the numbers from 1 to 10 will be given as the output except 5. If we have the, we have the output. As you can see, there is the output. You just break the loop and then the next part is still executed. Once it reaches till 5, it's going to break out. That's it. You can use the return keyword to return some value immediately from the loop inside of a function. So that is also going to break the loop. The last one is continue. So here, unlike the break statements, the continue statement breaks only one iteration in the loop and continues with the next iteration. So what happened in the break is, now let's say in the same case which we took earlier, if I is equals to 5, then the block of the code was not executed further. But in the continue statement, it's going to break that one thing and the next is going to still be iterated. So here we have this thing. And as you can see in the result, only 5 is missing and the rest all are still given in the output. That's how this thing happens. The value of 5 is not printed because continue skips that particular iteration from. So yeah guys, that's it for today's video. If you like the video, just like, share, subscribe, comment down below and press the notification bell. Also make sure to watch the next video since it is functions, which is very, very important for JavaScript. Thank you. Bye.